Okay, so I just wanted to bring up the issue about food supplements, nutraceuticals, all that cool stuff. Um, you have to be extremely careful what you choose to put into your body when it comes to anything at all, basically. But especially with nutraceuticals and food supplements, because you might not, you might be, for a normal person who's healthy, perfectly healthy, taking that vitamin D with calcium is a great idea, perhaps. Or, that extra magnesium, or, taking, the latest, what do you call it, superfood fruit or something. But if you have kidney disease, your body, everything, all your functions are off balance. Your liver's not working right, your lungs aren't working right, your heart isn't working right, everything is out of whack and off balance. And so, whereas you could take something maybe, and if it's not necessarily agreeing with your body, as a normal, healthy person, you process the stuff and whatever you can't use, your body just eliminates. But, somebody with kidney disease, it's going to take a lot longer to eliminate these things. And so you have to be careful, because if it's not the right thing for you, you might be doing yourself more damage than having a benefit from the food supplements. For instance, when I started dialysis the second time back in 2008, I used to take spirulina and chlorella pretty regularly, because that was one of the few things that I thought were pretty complete and were going to basically help me to, because before I got sick, I would take spirulina and chlorella, and I never caught a cold, I never had a flu, my digestion was perfect, I never had any funny feelings in my stomach. I'm pretty sure it helps your stomach flora, probiotics, prebiotics, all that good stuff. And I was just like, I couldn't believe how well I felt. It also helps to curtail your appetite, so you don't eat as much junk. And so I was lean, trim, I had a great amount of energy, all that good stuff. Anyway, when my health started to decline, I guess it must have started like around 2007, right after my mother passed away. And I used to take these long walks at lunchtime with my coworkers, about an hour, a long brisk walk, and it was excellent. It was really wonderful. But then all of a sudden, I started getting this pain in my hip, and it was just excruciating. I couldn't hardly walk. It was just I couldn't function. I couldn't walk up and down the stairs. I had to take the elevator everywhere I was going. I couldn't really walk up and down the street, just regular walking. I was like thinking, oh my God, am I going to need a wheelchair soon? But anyway, needless to say, my health declined. I started dialysis, and I continued to take the spirulina and the chlorella. And they said, oh, well, your calcium is, what was they saying? I guess they were saying, okay, well, you have too much calcium in your blood, and it's coming out of your bones. So I started taking calcium, because I said, well, if my bones are becoming eroded because they're not getting the calcium that they need, then I need to take calcium. But I didn't realize that the calcium that I took orally was just going to go straight to my blood, and it was going to raise my blood calcium levels. So that was bad, because it was it was kind of binding the phosphorus, but it was also kind of feeding the parathyroid monster and making it grow more and making more osteoporosis. So it's kind of weird, how that's, like I said, if you are a normal, healthy person, that would be a wonderful thing. But with kidney disease, no, you can't do that. Because, well, there's a balance. I'll talk about the balance with the calcium in a minute. But, anyway, so I was taking the spirulina, and, everything started going off balance, beyond reason. My parathyroid hormone was skyrocketing. I think it went up to like 2,000 something. And so I said, okay, I'm not going to take anything else. I'm not taking any more supplements. I'm going to stop taking everything. I'm not even taking vitamin C. Nothing. I stopped taking everything. And of course, needless to say, my health was really poor. I was very weak. I was very tired. I was in a lot of pain. And I got my surgery back in 2010 for the parathyroid. They cut the parathyroid glands out, left me 1/4 of a piece, and I was doing great. And so I said, hey, I can start taking that spirulina again. I didn't really take the chlorella because chlorella, anyway, I just was trying to just take a few things, sort of take my chances. So I started taking the spirulina again because I thought, well, that's one thing I can start taking again. And like within a month or two, I realized that it was kind of jacking up the parathyroid hormone. Because after the surgery, it was very low. It was down to like 200. Still not good, still not great, but better, way better than the 2,000 that it was before the surgery. And so anyway, I stopped taking the spirulina. And then a little while after that, I read about Schisandra, Lycium frutescens? No. Chinensis? Lycium chinensis, I think it is. And so I started taking that because I thought, well, that's supposed to be great for the kidneys, right? So it's supposed to be great for everything. It's an adaptogenic superfruits. And anyway, I wasn't really paying attention, but slowly but surely, it was also causing my parathyroid hormone to get high. And I wasn't really realizing that because it was getting high, that also actually meant that the little 1/4 of a piece of the gland was actually growing. It was becoming its own little beast, its own little monster underneath my thyroid. And it started to make my bones erode, my muscles weak again. Because right after the surgery, I was almost back to normal. Nobody could look at me and then guess that I had kidney disease. I was really doing very well. I didn't have to walk with a cane anymore. But anyway, so I started to get this Schisandra, and, I realized that was also not a very good thing to do. So I stopped. But let me tell you something. These things, when you take them, the spirulina, yeah, after I was taking the spirulina again, I wasn't getting sick. I took the Schisandra, I felt wonderful, but it was also making my my parathyroid gland grow. So anytime you see on a supplement and it says, well, if you read the information, go online, do information research, you'll notice that certain things are called adaptogenic. And if it's an adaptogenic, it means that it's actually going to regrow and regenerate tissue that is atrophied or whatever. So yeah, it's going to regrow your muscle tissue, it's going to regrow your kidneys perhaps, it's going to help your brain, tissue to spark better so that you can think better, you don't have those foggy, blurry, days or whatever. But it's going to cause your parathyroid to grow and do bad things to you. So, you know, I kind of after that, it maybe took me a couple of years before I started taking anything again. You know, and so I think I started taking vitamin D because I heard good things about vitamin D3, and that again was a very bad thing because it started raising my calcium levels, which meant that actually what was happening is that it was eroding calcium out of my bones, which, you know, that was a very bad thing. So anyway, at this point in time, I think like last year, no, it was the beginning of this year, 2016. At the beginning of this year, I started noticing that my heart was beating very erratically, and it seemed like it was very labored kind of heartbeat, ba-boom, 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 and it was erratic. So I thought, man, what is going on with that? I think I mentioned it to my doctor, and he says, oh, you gotta go see my cardiologist friend or whatever, who's actually his wife. And so I was like, I really don't want to start the cardiology thing, because when you go see a cardiologist, they want to send you to take all kinds of stupid tests and invasive junk. They want you to take all kinds of medicines that I probably would be unwilling to take. So I said it would be a waste of time, because I'm really not trying to do that stuff. I'm not going to comply. Basically, I'm a non-compliant patient. So, because when I do the research, I'm going to find out, okay, that's not a good thing, so I'm not going to do it. So anyway, let's see. So I researched K2. I had researched K2 before, vitamin K2, and I was taking it, and like I said, it was a time when I just stopped taking everything, because I just wasn't sure what was good, what was bad. I said, I'm just not going to take any more chances. So anyway, so recently, last, March, I said, okay, I'm going to start taking the K2 again, because I figured that what was probably happening with my heart was that I was getting, because I did research online, was that I was getting a blockage, what do you call it? Not tartar. What's the other word? Anyway, calcification in the blood vessels, in the main arteries. And so I said, well, let me start taking the K2, because K2 rediverts the calcium out of the blood back into the bone, so that if it's in the soft tissue, if it's in the soft tissue or floating around freely, willy-nilly in the blood, it's gonna pull the calcium out of the soft tissue and out of the blood and redirect it into the bone where it belongs. So I said, okay, I'm not going to take anything else. I'm just going to take the K2. And so after a month or two, I think it was April or May. I think it was in May. Well, in April, I noticed that my calcium was low. My calcium was becoming low. And then next 2 months, it was very low. And the doctor was like, well, gee, if your calcium is becoming so low on a consistent level every month, and let's try taking calcium again. And I said, well, I don't know about that. We've tried this already. Maybe we shouldn't do that. And he said, well, no, just take the calcium with each meal. Take 2 600 milligram tablets with each meal. And I said, I'm not going to take 2 600 milligram tablets, because we had done that before, and it was a horrible failure. My calcium skyrocketed, and everybody panicked, and whatever. So I said, okay, I'm going to try taking 1 600 milligram tablet with each meal. And with that, I came back the next month, and my phosphorus was under control. It was not low, but it was normal. It was perfect. And my calcium was lowish, and it was kind of like, it was like right below, the normal best level, and my parathyroid hormone also had become a lot lower. It went from like 1400 to about 1200. I think I actually have, no, that's not it. And so I was like, oh my god, I think I hit something here. And the next month, I was doing great again, same kind of numbers. And the doctor was like, hey, what are you doing? I was like, oh no, should I tell him the secret? So I spilled the beans, and he's like taking notes, you know, feverishly taking notes. But then the next month, what happened, I'm going to tell you what happens in a minute, in the next video.